Well, let's go over to the studio and we can join Cal.
Welcome back to Matchday Live. Joining me in the studio, we've got Paul Dickov, Esme Morgan and Steve Howey, and none other than the Champions League trophy, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's just a bit naughty, that, isn't it, Esme? Just sat there chilling.
Not a bad addition to the crew for today.
No, doesn't say much, but doesn't has to, I feel, this guest.
Talking more sense already than we've talked in the last hour and a half.
Alistair Mann said it there on commentary as well. We, of course, are embarking on our defence of this trophy for the first time ever. And we're doing all right. We've won all our games and it's currently 1-0, which does also mean we're on track to win our 100th European game. Steve, assessment of the first 45 minutes, please.
Comfortable.
Yep.
I think the players, Kovacic for me has been very, very good, looks sharp, but I haven't said that, so has all of the players. To be fair to them, they've pressed. They haven't made it easy for City. I mean, City, yes, it's 2-0, but it could have been more. I think the goalkeeper's pulled off a couple of good saves. Rico Lewis has had one cleared off the line as well. But yeah, I mean, the manager will be delighted to get that goal as well right before half-time. Just settles everybody down because they did have that much of the ball. They wanted more of a cushion than they actually had, which was one. The manager will be pleased with that. The second goal is a great goal. A wonderful touch. I mean, great ball by Grealish, and then a wonderful couple of touches from Phil Foden. Gets across the defender. Defender's in no man's land. He kind of bring him down. And a great finish. But yeah, thoroughly deserved, but could have been more. Could have been more, Esme. We were talking of that, getting that second goal being so key. You could see on a couple of chances that didn't quite go in. You know, Pep was willing the ball to go in, but the lads don't seem to have got out of second or third gear, really, do they?
No, it does seem really comfortable, especially like whenever we lose the ball, they just seem to have a little burst of 5 seconds of possession and then Guardiola or Diaz just win it back with such ease, and then it's another attack. And as you say, it's wanting to build a bigger cushion than just the 1-0. And I'm glad that Phil scored a really lovely goal, lovely finish, and his touch is just so good. Obviously, Mahrez on the right side was known for just bringing those balls down so brilliantly, and it was that sort of touch from Phil just to get it under control, shift it past his man, and then finish.
Yeah, it was delightful. I mean, there's been a few, even his touch as well for the goal at the weekend was beautiful. He's impeccable indeed. Before we start getting to those key moments of the game, we had a whole lot of analysis about how City was going to line up, and then a few minutes before kick-off, news came that Akanji picked up a knock in training. Kyle Walker's coming to replace him, so that kind of sorted out who's going right back then and who's going centre-half, didn't it, Paul?
It does. It's hard enough to pick the team and the formation when we know it, never mind them changing it just before kick-off. But look, Kyle's come in, took the captain's armband and shown what a fantastic professional he is, because he's proved that he's ready. You know, sometimes when you're on the bench, you do your warm-up, you sit down, you're not really that concentrating on the game. It's mainly the 11 that's gone out to play. So but he's went out there and he's been fantastic again. But then obviously the midfield with Kovacic, Steve said, has been absolutely fantastic. Nunes, who's looked really sharp, won the penalty.
Yep.
And Rico Lewis in there is buzzing around everywhere, unlucky not to score. So wondering what the formation was going to be. We've seen it very quickly, but you know, Esme said they've not got out of second or third gear yet, and it's not as if they're not trying. It's just that we're that much level ahead of them, and when they do have the ball, we're pressing them and win the ball back very quickly, and it's making it really difficult for them.
Let's do a quick talk on Rico Lewis, because before the goal, as you said, Steve, he had that one cleared off the line. There was also a drilled free kick from Kyle Walker. Foden with the follow-up. Not sure if he was onside, but very close. But Rico Lewis playing further up the field now in maybe more that attacking midfield role that we spoke about. How do you think he's fared in there?
I think he's done really well. I mean, again, he just looks comfortable.
Yeah.
He looks at ease. He looks he's where he should be. You know, he's confident. He knows he's got confidence in his ability, because his ability is so good. And of course, he's surrounded by fantastic players. And these are the games where he could possibly just, not that he's not relaxed, but just relax and try things. And if it doesn't come off, well then, he knows for a fact that the lads are going to win the ball back very, very quickly. So for me, it should be a game that he should settle in and really enjoy.
Let's look at the first goal then, Esme. Was a penalty from Haaland, really well taken, but the bit before it as well that won the penalties, as Paul said, Nunes, it was beautiful feet, wasn't it, and a well taken penalty. Yeah,
it was nice build-up play, sort of Foden shifting it inside to Rico, got a little toe on it just to nudge it onto Nunes, and it was a lovely turn, and obviously the defender, we were laughing in Andy Morrison in commentary calling him clumsy. I won't say what Paul said about that.
Yeah. Is Andy listening?
He probably will be, yeah.
Nah, well, don't say anything then.
Well, yeah, it was pretty clumsy from the defender, and then we were taking bets in the studio as to whether Haaland had put it one way or another, and me and Steve might have lost that one.
We got the goal, as we say, then we were kind of pushing for that second one, and then it came right at the end of the first half. As I say, felt like there wasn't long left to play, but talk us through it, some more Phil Foden brilliance.
It was starting from Jack, really. You know, he's been fantastic. He's looked really, really sharp. And we spoke about before the game about going down that left-hand side and very quickly coming in. We're saying it's usually back to Rodri to go out, but Jack's come in and whipped a great ball out to Phil. Phil's one-on-one. And I was actually glad Phil took him down the line, you know, because he's had the full-back faced up a few times and he's cut inside, so he's making him think a little bit. And then great touch from Phil, great touch past him, and you know the defender I think's tried to bring him down, but Phil's balance is so good, and then to have the composure just to side foot it, bend it round the keeper. He's world class, Phil, and he showed that yet again.
Then looking at kind of moving into the second half, I guess it's just kind of keeping that same rhythm and that same flow. Really, I don't think young boys. It was a bit like, well, we can't really be doing much differently. We just, you know, are in our groove, I guess, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, it must be frustrating for them because, as you sort of said, you know, they're trying and they're trying to shut down, but Man City's just, you know, too good.
Yeah.
You know, whether the manager looks at it, does he? We're seeing Haaland take his top off. Is he giving his top to the lad who helped him up? So I think he's getting more pestered off the player asking him for his shirt than he is actually doing the game. I think in the end he's just gone, look, there's the shirt. But you know, might he come out the second half? I don't know. With it being 2-0, I'm not too sure. I think he'd want to stay on because I think he'd want to add to his tally. But yeah, it is a case of the manager be looking at it and go, lads, same again. You know, you're in full control. Go out and do the same again.
Chelsea, obviously, at the weekend, Esme, do you think they probably might even be off Steve's kind of point there? Maybe a bit of thought just to get a few minutes in some players' legs ahead of the weekend, or can it also be the other way where you go, no, have a full rest so you're fully ready to go come the weekend?
I think it'll be a balance of both. There'll be certain players like Nunes who's maybe not had so many minutes over the past few games where you give him a full 90, let him get his match fitness up, let him get his rhythm, as much opportunity to play in what to him is still a relatively new system, and let him play. But there'll be other players where you bring them on just to keep them ticking over, keep them sharp, and if someone like Haaland is carrying a knock in his ankle, get him off towards the end of the game and don't take any unnecessary risks. Yeah,
he's got his goal. He'll be delighted with that. For young boys, Paul, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? You're 2-0 down at the Etihad against, you know, arguably the best team in the world at the moment, one of them. What's their kind of conversation?
I think it's probably just damage limitation, isn't it? You know, they've got nothing to lose. They've just got to be. I think we've got to be a little bit careful. There was a few naughty tackles from them. In fact, I think it was just pure frustration that one, they couldn't get the ball off us, and whenever they did get it, we were pressing them so high, and you can see them, you know, there's nothing worse. They're just kicking out, and there's a few nasty challenges in there. So we've got to be careful of that. Talking about the swapping shirt, I'm not having that centre half swap shirts walking off the pitch. I think that shows maybe the mentality they've got. At least wait till you get in the tunnel.
He's the captain as well. I thought that was really bad.
You know what I mean? So maybe that's their thinking. We're just coming here for a little night out. You know, I said before the game they're all taking videos around the stadium, focusing the game. So, fair point of view, just keep doing what you're doing and bury them as quick as we can, and then start making the changes.
Absolutely. Right, before we look at a couple of WhatsApp questions, I've got one I can't wait to ask you, Esme. Let's take a look at our Mystery Blue. So that's a game that we started off before kick-off. We're giving you 3 clues. We're asking you to work out who is our Mystery Blue. We've had a few guesses as well come in on WhatsApp. These were the clues. This man played in one of our most famous European nights against Hamburg. This man has a connection with a club and the other club's nation this evening. And the final clue was this man shares a surname with a player from our arch rivals. So, Esme, with a little help from Paul, who was your guess? Although you seem to be kind of had a good kind of guess more or less after the first clue.
Yeah, well, I could try and narrow it down to a team, and then Paul helped me with the nation. So we've settled upon Gelson Fernandes.
You say Gelson Fernandes. Shall we see if you are right, Esme? Let's find out. It's indeed. There we go. Gelson Fernandes. So, and that answers your question, Paul. Is it doesn't match the silhouette?
It doesn't match. It's a research again, sloppy.
By the way, to Steve, was one of the people on WhatsApp. Steve Pottage, you were one of the first ones to get that guessing correctly. So massively well done for guessing on Mystery Blue as Gelson Fernandes on WhatsApp. This one came in from Nuri, and Nuri said, "Would Esme ever consider or ever want to be a manager after finishing football?"
Oh, I don't know. It seems like a lot of stress.
Also, it's a long, long way away.
You've got a long career ahead of you.
Yeah.
Start thinking of that.
Yeah, it's not round the corner yet, but I'm not sure, you know. I don't think I'd have the patience if people weren't doing what... Like, you work on something all week in training and then it breaks down. I think, oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Don't have the patience.
No, and as we say, it's a long, long way away.
Yeah.
Isn't
I'll tell
it?
you a story later about that. It drives you mad. We've not got enough time.
This one came in from Jason. Obviously, we've seen him playing in more the midfield position today. But Jason said, question for everyone. Do you think Rico Lewis's best position is in midfield or defence? I'm guessing at the moment. Where would you say it is?
Well, for me, I think he excels in both.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to find out if you asked him what personally he prefers. I think at the moment, if it means I'm getting in the team, he's quite happy to play either one. But I think, you know, as a defender, sometimes you take great pleasure in defending. And as a midfield player or a flair player, you get great pleasure in either scoring goals or creating goals. And it's just which one, you know, he wants to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, as I said, we've had a conversation about him, and the manager thinks he could play even a little bit further ahead. But, you know, as a player, I think, you know, if you asked him the question, it'll be interesting to see what his answer would be. I would have thought he'd like to play that little bit further forward.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, listen, the young boys there are there in the tunnel, so not long to go. Just a little conversation there between the referee. I just want to pull. I think it was that lad there. I'm not 100%, but obviously the player who gave away the penalty was already on a yellow card. Do you think he was lucky to stay on the pitch, or?
I think nowadays, I think you know, the way he's went in, it was reckless, clumsy tackle, and he's took him out. So I think the fact that the first yellow was so close next to that tackle, the referees gave him the benefit of the doubt. I think he was actually asking the referee there to cut this half to about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So they don't have to chase around anymore.
Probably go get a few more selfies with the players as well, maybe. Right, well, the Blues are making their way back out of the tunnel, so we'll be back at full time. It is Manchester City 2, Young Boys now, 45 minutes between them and securing qualification into the next round, and of course that 100th European win. Alistair Mann and Andy Morrison have got your commentary. We'll be back at full time. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the second half. Come on, City. And what a beautiful thing to go out on. None other than our Champions League trophy. Champions of Europe, my friends. Soak it in. What a treat.
Well, thank you, Kel. Welcome back. City lead by 2-0. If they win tonight, they'll be in the last 16 of this season's UEFA Champions League. They will not win the group necessarily, because they'll have to get a draw against RB Leipzig to make sure of that, or beat them, of course. And that game is, of course, coming up in around about 3 weeks' time.